Hey guys, it's Paige and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A because you guys requested and you sent me in so many questions. It was like the best thing ever. So I'll probably have to do multiple Q&As just because I don't think I can answer everything in this video. But with that being said, let's just hop right into this video. So the first question is, I've heard that it is uncommon for people in the US to have a kettle in their home. Is that true? Yeah, I do think that's really uncommon. I think what you might find in the US is just like a normal pot to put on the stove, or like an automatic hot water thing that's like directly onto your sink area. But people don't really just like have the kettles like my host family has, where you just press the button and it boils it off to the side. Some people do. It's just not as common as I've seen it here in Australia. The next question is, can you talk about the difference between gun culture in both countries? So the difference between gun culture in both countries, what I would say is, I just think in general people in the US are a little bit more into gun culture. There's a lot of people who are like, I'm gonna go hunting, or I just need a gun to protect myself, that's my right. And I think it's just a lot more like pro-gun, like rah, rah, rah. I'm not saying it's good or bad, that's just kind of more the attitude I get. Whereas here, people don't really even mention guns within the first place. So kind of like the difference that I have noticed from my experience, with like the gun cultures is that just like the US is a lot more pro-gun, or it's even just a hot topic in general. So there's also a lot of people who are anti-gun too. So I think it's just the fact that it's even a topic for conversation regularly in the US kind of says something about the gun culture, because there's not really a lot of pro-gun people, I think, in Australia, which means there's also not a lot of this backlash of like, we're not pro-gun, if that makes sense. So I think it's just a lot more of a hot topic in the US because it's really polarized as well, is what I would say in the US. Whereas here, I kind of feel like everyone in general is like, we don't even care about guns because it's not relevant to our society. We have stricter gun laws. That's just kind of what I've heard here. The gun laws are stricter in Australia. Next question is, what is your favorite thing about Australia? And my favorite thing, like by far, is just like the landscape. Like everything here is so beautiful. I definitely fell in love with nature while I was here, and I'm gonna go back and take that with me. But just like being in the warmth and like seeing all of like the beaches or just like the trees and just like the wildlife, it's just amazing. Can I ask what you're studying in Australia? Yes, you can. In Australia, I'm studying social science, so I'm taking like kind of like counseling courses, like more like psychology of people and like that kind of stuff. And then I am in like cultural studies, and I'm also taking specifically a couple classes on Aboriginal culture, which have been absolutely amazing. If you have not studied Aboriginal culture, get out there and do it. It has been one of the most enriching experiences in my life. I'm taking so much of what I'm learning back home with me. So yeah, that's what I'm studying. What is a comfort food from home that you miss that's not here in Australia? This is a hard question to answer because I love food. But I was talking to one of my friends today and they were telling me this, and I didn't even think about it, but like Annie's fruit snacks, if you're in the US and you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you guys have them here in Australia, but Annie's, it's kind of like this like organic natural brand, but they have the best fruit snacks. They like literally melt in your mouth, like, but they're still chewy. They're so good. I would also say the other comfort food that I miss is just like my cultural food, which is like a lot of like African Americans cook a lot of corn or beans or just like fried. I don't eat, because I'm a pescatarian, I'm not gonna eat like fried chicken, but fried fish, all of that kind of stuff, like barbecues in general. So I miss a lot of like my cultural food. Did I say cornbread already? If not, cornbread is so good. Biscuits. I don't even know. If you've ever had soul food before, you know what I'm talking about. It is the most amazing comfort food. Don't get me started on the desserts. Peach cobbler, like what's good, Auntie Kim, if you're watching this, you're a peach cobbler. Yeah, so that's what I miss. The next question is, do you like Australia or America? America! Do you like Australia or if I could get through one single video without doing these like word flubs, I would consider myself like an accomplished human. Okay, the question is, do you like Australia or America better since you came? There we go. And I would say I like them both equally. Honestly, that's really, really cheesy, but they just have completely different things to offer. I would say that I am appreciating Australia more, but that's just because America's all I've known. So Australia, it's all new and it's like shiny and it's like, this is a whole new world. So yeah, but in terms of liking them better, I love America. Like that is like America raised me, you know? And I love Australia because I'm learning so much and I'm unlearning some biases or like some like ignorant stuff that I like picked up from the US. So it's like the best thing to have a multicultural experience, being an Australian culture and American culture. So I wouldn't trade either one for the world. So yeah, I don't like one better. The next question is Australian sports like Australian Football League and National Football League, not to be confused with American National Football League. Ever watched a game of either? And yes, I have. I went to an AFL game and it was so intense. Like, you guys are like, from the crowd to the people playing the game, like everybody was so hyped. So it was amazing and I loved it. So yes, I have been to a game. The next question is, how is the food so far? Any differences? Have you had any trouble understanding people? And did you have any misconceptions about Australia before you came here? Sorry to bombard you with questions, haha. Okay, so the first question, how's the food so far? Amazing. You guys know what you're doing. Any differences? Yes, you guys eat a lot of like beetroot or just like other stuff like that that's just like not common for America. Just random stuff like that, like beetroot, Vegemite. You guys just have different foods, but it's all good. Have you had any trouble understanding people? Yes. Oh my gosh. Like some people with really, really thick Aussie accents, and then on top of it, speaking all of the slang, it's like I get really confused sometimes, but like now it's like so much easier. Like now I'm like, it's a walk in the park. But I mean, the first week or two, I was like, what did they just say? And I would sometimes like look at people blankly, and it wasn't on purpose. It's just like I literally did not understand what they were saying. But like I said, now it's all good and I love it. So, and did you have any misconceptions about Australia before you came here? That is such a good question, honestly. Misconceptions, I think I thought that there was a bigger surfer culture. Not that there isn't a big surfer culture here, but I kind of thought everybody would be a little bit more into it, or like always wanting to go to the beach to surf, whereas it seems like there is a huge beach culture, but it's not necessarily just surfer culture. The next question is, have you seen a difference between the things that are taught in school? I feel like Americans learn more about their own country, whereas maybe Australia would teach their people more about the rest of the world's history and culture. And I would just completely agree. I feel like you answered the question within it. I think America focuses more on their own national history and culture, whereas or they'll talk a lot about European history, but that's just in a way to validate American culture. So they'll talk about Europeans who came to America and settled there. Yeah, so that's kind of how I would answer that. Australia gives a really, really nice, broad view of multiple cultures, and I love it. Don't get me wrong, America's great and Australia's great. I'm not saying one is better, but I do definitely feel a difference. The next question is, hey, just wondering what some of your other social media accounts are. And I always have my social media stuff listed at the end of the video, so it'll like with that little screen where it plays the previous video, it'll have like my Instagram. I don't have a Twitter, unfortunately. In my next coming videos, like I said, I'm gonna try some food, but I also am gonna do a video on education because it is so highly requested, so I got y'all. Do not even worry about it. That is gonna be it for this video. What? Answering your questions is so much fun because it's like directly what you guys want to see. So doing content like that, that's so like collaborative and like exactly what you guys want to see, I love doing. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up so I know. So you guys always give me so many, and it's just like, yes, like my last video, I didn't get a single thumbs down. Like, not to jinx it, let me like knock on wood somewhere, but you guys are killing it. Make sure to keep leaving me comments. I always respond, and that's how I even got the questions for this Q&A, so that's always good. And then also just hit that subscribe button so that you always know when I'm posting. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I feel kind of like jumbled, so I will see you guys in my next video, and I love you guys so much. Bye! Hey guys, it's Paige and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 100,000 subscriber giveaway. Like, what is life?